we're going to look at a blizzard here that is going to be expected, as well as a bomb cyclone, which will be tracking offshore with most of the impacts along the coast. But we'll also be looking at, will it go inland, or will it just stay mainly along the coast, or just near it? But yeah, this is a very intense set we're looking at, and I'm going to go over that with you today. And if you're not done so already, please be sure to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and leave a comment below if you have any local forecasts or suggestions or any concerns or anything. Just feel free to do that. Don't hesitate. I'm more than happy to respond to you or anything. So yeah, early look at the snowfall amounts. This event is 3 to 4 days out, so here's what we're going to be looking at here. And this will also kind of give a light on what the models could be showing and for the areas impacted, which means, yeah, there's going to be like a foot plus in some areas of the New England and also areas along the northeast, but the models have been slightly trending this storm to the east, which means impacts are lessening across parts of those regions. But then again, you still have impacts in there too, because even with that trend, it looks like we're still going to be seeing tons and tons of snow across some of these areas, especially if you're along the East Coast, because this is going to be a powerful nor'easter and a bomb cyclone, as the models show, unfortunately, with some rapid deepening of the low pressure system as it goes from Friday night along the shore just off the Carolina shore, and then as it heads exactly 24 hours later to nearing southeast Canada, it will be a lot stronger compared to where it was 24 hours ago. And it could be very deep compared to even just 24 hours ago, which means it would definitely be a strong bomb cyclone, which means this whole low pressure system is going to be very, very powerful with good deal of impacts across many of these regions. Now, here we are going to look at the models here in just a moment. As I briefly explain in the snowfall amounts, New York City, you could get like around 6 inches if there isn't any major eastward trends, or more if the storm finally trends back west. I'm not too sure about that. Boston, you could receive like 8 to 12 inches of snow, and you could see a foot even if the storm trends west. That'd be the same thing for like Connecticut, Rhode Island. If this trends further west, then yeah, you're going to see heavier amounts, maybe even a foot or so, as well as Long Island and New York City, obviously, which I just mentioned. But then if you go south down the coast, the snowfall amounts get lighter. So for example, like Baltimore, you may only see like a couple inches of snow. But then even further down here, I'm going to say like DC area, and then also like Norfolk, you guys could just get like quick inch or two. So yeah, this just shows how this storm rapidly intensifies, and how as you get further northeast, the snowfall just get really heavy all of a sudden, and you see that in this map right here. Like even localized 2 feet is not a question, but as storm trends east, even just a localized foot would be the case scenario. But then again, we still are like 3 foot out, so there's room for changes. And I've just said there could be continued eastward, or even just back westward trends. Either way, you guys over here, especially on the New England coast, will likely see a good ton of impacts. So now we're gonna go to the west. As you can see, it's really dry now until you get to about. Actually, we're past that. Okay, so here we are until Friday afternoon or evening. That's when the storm kind of just really picks up. Okay, so I'm gonna bring that into the view. So, yeah, hold on, I'm still messing around, I feel like. Okay, so here we are, 1006 millibar. This is as of late Friday evening. And then once you see like area like New York City, Boston, Baltimore, New Jersey, Delaware, Norfolk, DC, and that's when you start to see the impacts into Saturday morning, and then watch from late Saturday evening, and then 973 over there. That's kind of insane. Like, wow, look at that. I think it straightens even further than that as you head northeast. And then look at that really heavy snow, like starting to wrap around that low pressure, which is even rain at first. So as you head closer to the inland, you can see that really powerful heavy snow band that's even whopping areas such as eastern Massachusetts and even Maine, which we will get to shortly. But I just wanted to show you, like, just how weak this is and how strong it gets, like, 15 hours later. Oh my god. 33 millibars deepened in just 15 hours. Saturday noon, or Saturday afternoon, depending on where you are, but I think I should probably refer to the Eastern time because this is where it's going to be impacting. But I also live somewhere in Central Time, like right over here somewhere. And yeah, but this is really a going situation over here. And now we're going to look at the GDPS and also the snowfall models, see how much these areas would pick for 3 different models here. But then it's see from one model to the European. There's like this is like probably going to be the heaviest scenario for now for many of these areas over here. But then as you can see, like Boston, Long Island, New York City, and even eastern Maine, like also the entire state of Rhode Island obviously is tiny. Also eastern half of Connecticut, maybe some of the New Jersey along the shoreline, and also Delaware maybe along the shoreline too. But those like small corners there probably be here where we're looking at that kind of stuff if this model were to happen. But yeah, this is just one scenario. We're looking at like 4 different scenarios. But in New York City, we could either get like a foot of snow or maybe 6 inches. Maybe even probably even between that if this model were to verify. And then lighter as you head further south, which means like DC, the southeast Virginia city of Norfolk, Virginia Beach area, they would see like just a few inches. But then again, you go up here, and then that's where you see the real show. And then the Canadian model, it's kind of less overall, but some of the southeast Canada, eastern Maine area could still see about a foot of snow, even locally across the eastern reaches of Maine. And then the GFS, it's kind of whopping there's South Shore, maybe even a sliver of this little panhandle here of eastern Massachusetts also kind of goes offshore. It's like, I forget what it's called, but it's really amusing how just that area of Massachusetts gets the real whooping with 2+ feet of snow in this model. But then very light or almost nothing across New York City. But then Boston could still had delivered a smack of a few inches or so of snow, as well as Portland, and as well as even like the classical tiny states of Connecticut, Rhode Island, and then New Hampshire and Vermont. It's almost nothing, so maybe southeastern New Hampshire, and then lighter obviously down here as the models show. This could even get briefly further inland, if not just another thing, across parts of the mid-Atlantic region, and also the southern central Appalachians. And in the UK model, you can see eastern Maine gets socked, as well as Boston area of eastern Massachusetts, and then also the tiny states, and then the parts of eastern Long Island, with little to nothing across New York City. And you see that classical inland and west across central southern Appalachians, and then also mid-Atlantic once again, Ohio Valley, and that's kind of it. But then, yeah, you gotta watch out for this storm because it's really deepening. Oh, did I forget to show you something? We're gonna look at just one more quick model here that shows how it really deepens European. As we get about here Saturday morning, Friday night, that's when the storm really develops. 998 millibars, or even just 1008 in one time, and then 976 millibars, like exactly 24 hours since it was just 1008 millibars. and then 970 millibars from 998 millibars, but I think that it's even more pronounced. Is you like, Saturday afternoon, evening, Friday afternoon, evening, and then getting into like that same time frame as actually mentioned, Saturday afternoon, evening, 24 hours later. So yeah, definitely very impacting. And it could do even some westward trends. If you're just a snow lover over here along the East Coast, you could be fortunate enough to see some more back westward shifts finally. Even if you just hate the snow, you'll dread that. But if you just don't want to see the snow and it transients and you're lucky, otherwise, well, just get prepared either way. But now I'm gonna end the video here because we've covered enough information for now. Except we really haven't. We're just gonna do what if it could be a blizzard because because it's going to be a bomb cyclone. It probably will. So yeah, now it definitely looks like it's going to be a blizzard. You can see the winds really picking up as you head along to the coast. And then those powerful winds. Look at that. This is definitely a good setup for a blizzard. For Boston, maybe even New York City, Long Island, and also coastal areas of Maine and New England. This is definitely going to be the perfect kind of weather that would be for a blizzard like this, especially considering how deep this low pressure system gets, and as well as it becoming a bomb cyclone. With that rapid deepening in just 24 hours. So yeah, that just explains how everything unfolds. Forecast. If you did, this is another one. Subscribe to this channel, like this video if you did enjoy the forecast. Once again, comment any suggestions, local forecasts, or questions below, and stay notified continuous updates. And this is just reminders from earlier on in the video, like the beginning. And be sure to stay safe and have a